What's up, buddy?
Yo, how's it going?
I don't know, man. I
I
mean,
thought
it's
I
just
pulled out I thought I pulled out my microphone cord there for a second.
yeah.
Uh
We don't really have a good way of starting the YouTubes ever.
no, we need to work on that.
Yeah. But you have any silly shit you want to talk about? Because I got a few topics for us to discuss.
The only thing I'd written down was that I finally, for the first time, got to see the Dungeons and Dragons movie.
How'd you like it?
I loved it. It was
Okay,
good.
which one did you see? The newest one or the one that had Jimmy, like the guy that played Jimmy from Lois and Clark in it?
The new one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
Yeah, I was really wanting to see that one in the old theaters, but we just never talked about it again after we I suggested it.
Yeah. I didn't think that anybody I knew had Paramount, which is where it's streaming.
I
And I was
gotcha.
talking to my mom and it came up and she was like, I've got Paramount. I'm like, okay, well, then I guess I can watch it now.
You're like, why, mom? And she's like, oh, Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah, not quite. That was one of those shows she didn't want me watching when we were kids.
Yeah. Same here. It was hilarious. My parents like, or my mom, not my dad at all. But my mom was like, I don't want you guys watching that. And then like we'd be over at my Aunt Lynn and Uncle Chuck's, and Aunt Lynn would let us watch it. She's like, don't tell your mom.
And I'm sure you guys never did.
I mean, we told her recently.
Yeah. That one, and it took a long time to convince my mom to let me watch The Simpsons for some reason.
Maybe because Matt Groening's a pedophile.
Well, maybe.
She's like, I just have something, I just don't trust him. Like, Mom,
Yeah.
how'd you know this? It's like I didn't. I just had a gut feeling.
He wanted me to rub his feet for a picture of Krusty.
Oh shit. Okay. So yesterday I went for a run and then I came home and I had already taken Hallie out, but she pooped and peed on the floor. I'm like, oh, you little turd. And I cleaned it all up, then after lunch I went for a bike ride. And this time I was like, I'm gonna leave her in the kitchen, have the gate up so she because like if she's stuck with the poop and pee, she won't do it. But since she's got the whole house, she's just like, I can just hide from it. I don't need to worry about this. So I did that. I put everything up and away, or so I thought. But then I come home and she had gotten down my Sara Lee buns that I had gotten. I had like five left, and she ate all of them, of course. And then she also got my mission wraps again, and this time fucking ate all of them. Not a one left. Her belly is like just huge right now because like all the fibers just in there.
Yeah.
She's been having trouble pooping. It's not good.
Those I mean at this point, those wraps are her favorite treat.
Must be.
That's
And like
funny.
I had those all the way in the sink. I was like, she's not getting these. They're in the sink. There's no way. And she's like, you thought, you idiot. All right. And then another thing, I heard this on a podcast. Someone brought it up, and you are my English friend. I'll say that. Like you are the guy that it's like if I got an opinion on English, it's gonna be from you. So pantsing, what you're doing is you're grabbing the pants and you're yanking it down. That's unpantsing.
Yeah.
So like, do you want to start up a fad of like where we see someone, their pants are down, and we're like, ha, pants down, and we pull up their pants?
What worries me is the situation we find ourselves in where that is an option for
Well,
us.
like my first thought is we're at C2, you and me, Mike and Levi. Mike or Levi, like we'll let the other one in on it. One of them will be like, "Oh, I gotta take a shit," and so they sit down on the toilet, and we're like, we'll just say Levi, like Levi, okay, now we're gonna go pants Mike. So you open the door, distract him, and me and Jake are just gonna whip him up. It's like, oh, guys, you pantsed me.
He shits his pants.
It's like I had a turtle head peeking out and everything. You got me.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I want to join in on that trend, buddy.
Well, hey, if anyone listening, if you guys want to like start like proper pantsing people, like tell us your pants and stories after you do it, just for our laughs, I guess.
Yep. Love to hear it.
Dude, you know what's gonna happen now at C2E2? Me, Mike, and Levi are gonna pants you.
I'll never let it happen. You good?
Yeah, I'm good. Okay, and then last thing, I started listening to this podcast called Pretending to Be People, and it's a like role-playing game podcast that I like to listen to. And they don't do Dungeons and Dragons, and it's not called Cthulhu either. It's they're playing Delta Green, which I don't know if you've heard of that role-playing game, but it's one that I'm like, after listening to this, I'm like, dude, this is like all the way in my alley, and I want to play it so bad, but at the same time, I'm like, and you can speak from experience with me playing role-playing games. I have the thoughts in my head of like, oh man, I'd be so cool at this. I'd be doing all the cool, and I'm like, no, I just be causing all sorts of fucking mayhem. I know it.
Yeah, you would. What's that noise? Oh, I think it just started like storming, maybe.
Oh shoot.
Anyway, I just Googled it. I've heard of Delta Green, but it's Cthulhu based too, right?
It's they haven't gotten to that type of stuff, but it's like at least what they're doing, it's very like X-Filesy, where it's like weird shit's going on that's cop drama based.
Okay.
But I haven't seen anything like that. But there is insanity rolling and all that type of stuff. And it's really cool. I think it'd be fucking dope as hell. But at the same time, like I said, I'm like, I would probably be going insane very quick.
Here's the thing though. Because insanity points are a thing, maybe they have better options for stuff getting derailed quickly. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. And it's like the DM on this is very good because like one of the guys, like it's funny because like one of the dudes is like a really shitty cop, like just as far as like the stuff that he does, like he's supposed to be the new cop on the force, and like he fucks up a lot, and it's like so perfect, it fits with everything, and like now it's just became like this running joke that he's just a really fucking bad cop, and it's really good. So it's like, I mean, it might still work, but I don't know.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's also hard to be like, hey, let's get 4 or 5 people together to play this game.
Right. Hey, I mean, I'm all for it, man. I'm all for it. We could still, I don't know how we would play it virtually, but we could figure it out.
Yeah. That's all I got, man.
All right.
Well,
Mad Lib time.
oh yeah. Make them libs mad.
Here. We're gonna roll a D5. Scooby-Doo.
Ooh.
Like Zoink Scoops, that was a really bad impression. Okay.
Yeah, I just can't like really think about Scooby-Doo with you anymore if you show me that stupid fucking video.
Okay, well, you have more than made up for it with the Meat Canyon shit, so.
There's a ringer in my rut.
Ringer in my rut. All right. It's called So You Want to Be a Mystery Sleuth. Adjective.
Rusty.
Verb.
Ruck.
I'm gonna put fuck because I'm not reading this in Scooby-Doo voice.
Damn it.
Animal.
Dog. Where?
Noun.
Balls. Scooby doesn't have those anymore.
Part of the body.
Oof, I'm gonna go with a schlong.
Adjective.
Smelly.
Adverb.
Um, hard.
Yes.
Yeah, because you could do like a hard fuck.
Goodness. An adjective.
Um, painfully.
I gotta mod that a little bit to make it work.
All right.
Noun.
Uh, Great Dane come.
Verb.
Um, Searching or search.
You said search?
Yeah.
Okay. Noun.
Ascot.
Adjective.
Bloody.
Noun.
Um, Diarrhea, which is what my dog has right now.
Plural noun.
Balls.
You already said balls.
Oh shit. Let's go with tires.
You say tires all the. Do you only know 5 words?
Nipples. Let's go with nipples.
Okay,
I
fine.
haven't said nipples in a day or two.
And noun.
Oh, I'm gonna say teeth or tooth. One time I heard this joke. You know why they call toothbrushes? Or no, I just fucking ran the joke. Um, did you know that toothbrushes were made in Cowden?
No.
Because if they're made anywhere else, they'd be teeth brushes.
That's good. Okay. So you want to be a mystery sleuth.
Mm-hmm.
If you've been thinking about becoming a world rusty sleuth, there are a few things you need to fuck. First, you need to be brave. You can't run around like a scared dog, hiding from every ghost and balls. Second, you need to be intelligent. It takes a quick schlong to outsmart villains.
True.
They are very smelly, so you'll need to think hard. You'll also need an eye for details. Noticing even the most painful clues can be the difference between catching the Great Dane come and letting him get away. And of course, you need to learn how to search a trap. That's one thing Scooby and the ascot are still trying to figure out. Fred is just the ascot. It takes a bloody touch to not get scooped up in your own diarrhea.
Oh, I hate that.
So get ready for a life of excitement and nipples. Your life as a mystery tooth starts today.
Yeah, that first one's just completely wrong though. Scooby's a great mystery solver, and he's fucking scared of everything.
I know, that's very true. I don't know. I feel like a pretty good phrase is it takes a bloody touch to not get scooped up in your own diarrhea. That feels
Yeah.
like a passed down from generation phrase, you know?
Can you say that as Scooby-Doo?
No.
Come on.
No.
How about Shaggy then? Like zoinks. And then do it.
I'm not even a good Shaggy.
You do Shaggy, but the musician.
It takes a blood. No, I can't do that either. Like, it takes a bloody touch to not get scooped up in your own diarrhea.
That makes me so happy. I'm gonna try, and I say try because like, so I was using Clipchamp to try to edit what I did last week, and it fucking just didn't work. Like, it would just be like, I'm buffering. It's like, I fucking recorded this already. You don't buffer on shit that's already like stored in my fucking computer, dude. But it's like buffering. So I had to download a different thing to try to use. So I'm gonna try to use that, and I'm gonna cut the part, you doing the Shaggy voice, and then we'll have that as a reel or whatever you call it.
Okay, perfect. All right.
What's up, everybody? It is Casey with Two Worlds Podcast, and with me, as always, it's the Matthew McGuire to my Peter McGuire. It's Jake. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good. Sure don't get that one, though.
So it's a little history lesson. One of them, I don't really know which one because I just Googled who invented Labor Day, and one of them is is the person that's like credited with it, and the other one's like, well, maybe it was this other guy. So that's us this week.
Wait, so which one's
credited?
Even know.
I don't know. I don't even know if they even knew each other.
Okay, right.
We're celebrating Labor Day, people.
Yeah, we're hard at work for you guys.
Yeah, they're rolling in their grave. Like, I can't believe these guys are in the old podcast minefield that we are in. But whatever, we gotta do it.
We gotta. And it's been a couple weeks since we've had a regular old episode.
That's a fact. So, I'm almost healthy again. Like, I'm still coughing every once in a while, but that's about it.
Well, Casey's almost healthy. I am back from vacation, and we're here to get back in it. So
yeah, you got that nice healthy tan from being on Lake Michigan.
Yeah, we went to a beach for one day. I'll tell you what, this has nothing to do with my trip. Okay. I do have a pretty wicked watch tan line.
Oh, dude, me
I know
too.
You can't tell because I'm transparent, but that's like the only thing. Every time I think, God, I'm pale, I look at my watch tan line. I'm like, but I could be this all over.
Yeah, see, like, dude, just it's fun too. Is like, I got this tan. I look like I'm wearing a shirt at all times. It's awesome.
All right. Well, let's start it off with some trivia.
Oh, let's go with the answer from last week's trivia for those that listen. Do you have any idea what the answer was, or did you even listen?
No, of course I listened, but I didn't know the answer.
So, in Ibra Horror of the Deep, the 4 monsters that were in there were obviously Ibra, Godzilla. It'd be hilarious if he wasn't in it. I was like, threw you guys a curveball. It was actually King Kong, which he was supposed to be. That's just a fun fact. Mothra, because the people of Infant Island were actually kidnapped and were being used as slaves. So she shows up and she's like, hey, I'm Mothra. I'm going to take care of business. And I was like, oh, this is a terrible decision, because she's just getting wrecked. And then the giant condor in his one appearance. He like hits Godzilla a few times, and Godzilla just fucking roasts him, and that's it.
I've seen that clip before.
Yeah.
Well, that was fun trivia. I'm glad that you held down the trivia fort while I was gone, man.
The worst part was, though, is I don't have the password for the YouTube. So I was like, leave us a comment down below. Everyone's like, oh, all thousands of our listeners are like, oh, I can't.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, I reached into the trivia box and I happened to grab 3. So we're going to do 3 this time.
You're like, I happened to grab 40. This is going to be a long episode.
Yeah. All right. First. And I'll say wait 5 seconds so that people can maybe think of it on their own.
Yeah.
True or false? The Nova Centurion is the highest ranking officer in the Nova Corps.
That's tough. Because I'm so bad with names. But I love Nova so much. I'm going to say false.
False is correct. Can you tell me the highest ranking?
I mean, Nova Prime would be what I would say would be the highest ranking. Okay.
That is correct. It is Nova Prime.
I didn't know if that would actually count since like that was when Richard did it. It was like, oh yeah, you're the last of them.
Right. Well, I think that was kind of a special occasion.
Yeah.
All right, this one's multiple choice. So let me know if you need them.
Okay.
What member of the Guardians of the Galaxy came from a planet named Half World?
Give me them options.
A. Groot, B. Gamora, or C. Star. No, I'm just kidding. Rocket Raccoon.
Was it Rocket?
It was Rocket.
Okay.
All right. And lastly, another multiple choice. What villainous alien race killed Star-Lord's mother, Meredith?
I need those multiple choices because I don't know this one.
A. The Badoon, B. The Brood, or C. The Phalanx?
I'm gonna say Badoon.
It is the Badoon.
That was a
Nice,
lucky
man.
guess.
Nice. You went 3 for 3 today. All right. We don't have any YouTube comments or anything this week. So,
Because as I said, no YouTube was posted.
yes.
It would have been like, oh, it's a giant condor. Like, yeah, you guys fucking nailed it. But it just didn't happen.
All right. Well, then we'll hop into the news. Not a lot. Not a
No.
lot of news. I'll start it off. This I didn't write down, but it's something I wanted to talk about anyways. So Marvel has this little event happening soon called Gods, right? We've been getting like a page or whatever in every Marvel book.
That's what they say. I'm not buying it though, because it's like, where where was this where was this part for this thing? I'm not,
Yeah. So what I want to talk about, I think it's going to be 3 issues. They're $9.99 issues. Right. Now, I'm glad you had that reaction. That's part of what I want to talk about. So there's 60 pages. And there's not like big diagrams or just info dumps. It's 60 pages of proper story, according to Marvel. Does that make the price point better? Well, let's start with that. Does it make the price point better?
No.
Okay. Follow up. And here's where I'm torn a little bit, because in my mind, I'm thinking if you want people to buy into a brand new thing, you got to make it cheap.
Yeah.
On the other hand, we talk all the time about wanting creators to get their bag. If the creators are giving us 60 pages of story, should they then get more money for it?
Oh, they should. The problem to me personally is 60 pages is too much, especially for Hickman. I like Hickman, but it's like, oh wow, you're gonna be reading the fucking Hobbit at 60 pages of Hickman with as much as he writes. It's gonna be like, it's gonna be so much. It's gonna be such an info dump where you're gonna be like, oh wow, okay. I mean, I really can't recall anything that was said because he went into the backstory of these ancient gods for 5 pages of just text on text on text. And it's like 60 pages is too much. Just give us just make it regular size and then release it monthly. You make more money this way. So, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm inclined to agree with you. I don't know. I wasn't expecting $10. For sure 5, maybe 6, because Marvel's been doing that with some stuff here lately. But at $10, it's like, A, I'm not going to order that many for my store now.
Yeah.
And B, I'm personally probably not going to read it now because
Yeah.
it's like, okay, you're promising like a cool Marvel mythology story involving, magic and science. Like that sounds cool.
Sounds in your alley.
Yeah, it does. But that I don't want to read it. I read so much for this pod every week. A $10 book, man. I just don't know.
A $10 60-page Hickman book too.
Hmm.
Where it's like, hey, I hope you read my Avengers and Shield and Fantastic Four runs and Secret Wars because I'm bringing it all back together. And you're like, I didn't read those. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure Hickman mega fans are probably loving it, but
Oh yeah, for sure. But at the same time, I just think you'd be better off just doing it smaller books and releasing it that way, though.
yeah.
But hey, let us know down below. Do you think we're wrong? Would you guys want to read a 60-page Hickman book for $10? And here's a question for you as a shop owner. Do you like your regulars? Are you just going to be asking them like, hey, this new event book, it's $10. Are you interested? Because I don't want to buy a lot of extra copies. Or how does that work,
I will do that sometimes, but normally I'll do that for something that I'm really on the fence about people caring for.
Yeah.
I don't see this being one of those things.
You think it's still going to do well even at $10?
No, I don't think it will.
Oh, okay. You don't think they're on the opposite side of the fence?
Yeah.
I gotcha.
I mean, some people have let me know if they want it, which is great. But yeah, this is going to be one of those minimum order books.
I gotcha.
And if I sell out and there's a ton of demand, then I'll up it for two. But I just don't. I mean, it's just something brand new. People don't know
Yeah.
these characters. It's a tough sell. Tough sell.
Gonna be introducing a bunch of new characters though that will be in the movies, and they'll be like, "Oh, we gotta get the first appearance."
I know, right? That would be my luck.
Okay, so I'll just mention this. You and me watched this trailer beforehand, and I've seen it a couple times now. The Godzilla -1 trailer dropped. It's coming out December 1st, like I mentioned. Looks pretty sweet.
It does. Yeah,
Godzilla's got them chonky thighs that Jake's just like,
yep, those thick ass thighs, man.
It's like
It does
Jake's
look
like,
good
oof,
though.
he's hot, but at the same time, I want KFC for some reason. I don't know.
Yeah. No, it looks good. I thought the teaser we got was cool, and this was just, as it should be, more of that. So it was cool.
And the special effects look good. Like that's one of
Yeah.
the things. It's when they do CG in Japan, I'm always like, I hope this works out. Like they do good with what they have, and it always looks really good. It usually looks, honestly, since they're working within a smaller budget than what a lot of the American studios are. It's like, oh no, this is just better than what they are because they know their constraints.
Yeah, I agree. Okay. So I saw this news story pop up where all the different comic publishers want like a comic store sales chart to see who is actually selling like the most,
Yeah,
which is whatever. But the thing is, like, none of them are willing to be the first person to admit how much they're actually selling.
yeah.
So I don't know. I feel like if they want it that bad, someone's just gonna have to, go for it.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll be Marvel or DC, but I don't know. One of the smaller press people can be like, "Yeah, look, this is what we sell. We know we're not one of the top two, and maybe that will coax the others into slowly releasing it. But there's no way Marvel or DC are going to be the first ones."
But why do they want to do that? Any clue?
I imagine it's because a lot of them, um, probably, well, not a lot. I'm sure the big two probably say, we're having a record sales, whatever,
Yeah.
or, I know Dawn of DC is selling more than Marvel is right now. It's like, well, this could actually prove that.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know why, because really, any time that info like that has come out in the past, Marvel wins.
Yep.
Um, which is whatever. They put out more books.
They
They
read
have
#1 all the time, which is, as much as we hate it, is very smart strategy.
true. Um, also, every 15 issues of Amazing Spider-Man, they claim it's some other fucking, anniversary issue and they make it a $10 book. And then that
Yeah.
goes into like, well, no one's going to downsize on Amazing Spider-Man. So everyone buys that too. So, I don't know. It is what it is. Like, yeah, it would be nice to see the numbers just because I'm curious, but I just don't know if it's going to happen.
I got you. Okay, so while I'm on the Godzilla side of things, we're getting a new Godzilla game.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, kinda. It's titled Godzilla Voxel Wars. It's a single player strategy puzzle game.
Okay.
What we've all wanted from a Godzilla game for so long. It's like, this is a sequel to that old Game Boy Godzilla game Casey used to play when he was a child.
uh yeah, I've got it. I've got some images pulled up.
Yeah, it doesn't look good.
It's like Roblox. It's
Yeah.
Godzilla Roblox.
Man.
Huh. I don't know, maybe kids will be into it.
Kids will be getting into fucking debt like they do with Roblox.
I know, right? So does that mean you're absolutely not playing it?
I mean, I'd play it, but as of right now, I've heard it's on Steam. It's gonna, so I'm like, oh, well, guess what? Can't play ya. Oh, well.
Yeah.
And then I'll really quick mention this. Giancarlo Esposito said, like, this is something he's kind of hinted at, that he, before the strike, was in talks to be in the James Gunn verse. And my question to you, who would he play in your opinion? Who could he play? Because I had some thoughts, like the obvious ones, of course, and I've had some I think maybe less obvious.
Man, from what we know that's coming out, I really can't think of like an obvious one.
Well, obvious for me, I mean, like, I think he could be Brainiac.
Yeah.
I think he'd be a really good Lex, obviously. Like, those are like obvious because it's like, oh yeah, an evil guy, maybe bald. It's like,
Right.
yeah, he'd be good at that. But then I was like, who else he'd be good at? I think Marsha Manhunter. Martha Man.
I thought you said
Martian.
Martha. I was like,
I
Ma
know.
Kent? Yeah, he would be a good Martian Manhunter.
Yeah, and then another one that I'm like, he might actually kill it at this. Perry White. Could be good. But
Could
it's
be.
also like kind of a waste.
Yeah, it is. It is. Couldn't the same have been said about Lawrence Fishburne? What a waste.
He
of
was a
talent.
waste.
Yes, because he was amazing.
He was awesome. Like, he absolutely killed it for like the 20 minutes he had in, what, 10 hours of movie?
Yep.
Like, between the three of them.
Yep. Oh well. Yeah, there's no answer I can come up with that's better than any of those you said.
Well, let us know down below. Who do you want him to be? Are you like, he should be Bibbo? I'd be like, that's a weird choice. You're like, no, Superboy. Let's go this route.
Superboy. Ma Kent.
There we go.
Why not?
Ma and Pa Kent at the same time, showing his acting chops.
You want to do your last one?
Yeah. So the video games may be joining this strike, I saw. So that's interesting. I mean, I wonder how much that would affect anything, because it'd just be the writing side, right? And probably the voice actors, which I wonder how, like, I mean, it wouldn't be the the programmers or stuff. Like I don't know how far stuff is done in advance, and how that works at all.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there was some controversy around when Bayonetta came out last year, or maybe the early 2023, but the gal that had voiced Bayonetta and everything up to that point, um, she she called for a boycott because she wasn't doing the game because I guess they offered her like an insulting wage to do that game. And I don't know if the boycott actually hurt them very much because, it's essentially a Nintendo game, right?
I
Um,
don't know. Is it? Because I thought that was just one of those games that Smash Brothers got because,
oh,
they're like,
maybe. I
you
mean,
know,
I clearly don't know shit about
yeah.
Bayonetta. Either way, uh, she didn't think she was getting a fair wage, so she said no, and they casted somebody else to do it. So I think it would make sense that if it were about the voice actors too.
Yeah.
Okay. My last bit, piggybacking off of my last thing about the sales chart. Um, I found the top 10 best-selling single issues during the month of August, so I thought I'd just list them off.
Nice.
Okay. Number 10 was X-Men The Hellfire Gala. It was a $9 book.
Damn.
So number 9 was Night Terror's First Blood. That was a $6 book. Number 8 was Night Terrors, number 1, $4 book. Number 7 made me pretty happy. Incredible Hulk 2. It was a $4 book. Number 6 was Daredevil 13 at $4. Number 5 kind of surprised me. X-Men 24, $4 book. Number 4, Ultimate Invasion number 2. Also a bit surprising. I didn't know that was selling as well as it was.
Yeah.
Guess people do give a shit about the Ultimates universe. That
Maybe
one,
it's like one of those things where it's like, oh yeah, the people that grew up reading it are now older and they're like, oh, this is actually so good.
right? Although I've heard it's not.
Yeah. I heard it started strong. I'll say that. And then I think Jeff Loeb took over and he did some wonky shit.
I think a lot of people did some wonky shit.
Yeah.
That one was also a $6 book. Uh Number 3 and number 2 are the 2 issues of Amazing Spider-Man that came out that month.
Like for a book that's someone everyone complains about, like it just seems like everyone hates it. It still sells like hotcakes.
Of course. And the people making those complaints are also buying it for sure.
Yeah.
And the number 1, Night Terror's Batman number 1.
Wow, that's one I didn't buy too.
Yeah. And that's a $5 book. So I don't know if you noticed a little trend. Comics are going up, man.
Mm-hmm.
And I know they have been for a little while, but $6 for some of this, it's like it's not that good. It does not
No,
warrant $6,
not at all.
especially when truly like a third of it is just advertisements.
Right? Advertisements, and then like what was really bad was when we were having to pay like $4 to $5 for like Marvel books that were like printed on like cheap ass paper. And it's like, guys, if you're gonna make us pay this much, make it on good quality stuff. And you can make an excuse, but like lower the price if you're making this excuse. Like it's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah. It was essentially one ply toilet paper that should have been $1 to $2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what books did you read this week, bud?
I read, and I may be missing one if you mention it.
All right.
Uh I didn't get to read everything I wanted to because I got back just a couple days ago. But I got through Superboy #5, Conan the Barbarian 2. Was Incredible Hulk 3 this week or last week?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that one. The Hunger and the Dusk #2. And Blade #2.
Okay. Wow. You didn't do the final Night Terrors?
I mean, I just didn't get to it yet.
Oh wow.
I've still got 4 books sitting over there that I didn't get
I
to.
gotcha. So I gotta move some stuff around because I had those. I had a couple like oh, Jake for sure read this one type of thing. So I got The Plot Holes by Sean Murphy, issue 1, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles versus Street Fighters, issue 3, Godzilla Rivals, Spacegodzilla. They don't ever fight, just spoiler alert. It says versus Spacegodzilla. Never even see each other. Doomsday Special #1. Night Terrors, Night's End #1. Blade #2. Superboy #5, and Hulk #3.
You definitely have more than me.
Yep. So I'm gonna start filling this old hole of mine, this plot hole.
Phrasing.
Yep. Okay, so this is by Sean Gordon Murphy. He does the art too. It's a lot of fun. Like, I'd recommend this book to you, Jake. I think you'd like it. Yeah, so all these like failed comic book characters are a team, and they're basically just like, oh, this book sucks for this reason. We are gonna change this, and then it'll do well, and then that keeps their universe up. And so they get this one of their guys dies, so they just get a new guy to be their person. They get just different stuff. It's a really neat world. I liked it a lot. The one thing that I was like, don't really care much for this was there's this one guy. He's like an old cartoon strip character, and he's like old as shit now, but he's like saying stuff that's like, stuff like right wing, like current right wing, maybe boomer stuff, where it's like, oh yeah, this isn't something from someone from that would be like taken out of the 30s would say. Like, they would be calling someone a let's try to find it, kind of like a beta male. Like, no one from the 30s calls anyone a beta male ever. So like stuff like that just didn't work for me. But otherwise, it was really fun. I liked it a lot. I'm gonna go a 9. This was a fun, interesting, and it's like, to me anyway, it's a creative thing. It's not just the same old shit. So I liked it.
Yeah, I'm glad it was good.
And then I'll just jump on in. Turtles versus Street Fighters. This is by Paul Allor and Ariel Medel. I've not got to talk about this book yet because like every time it's either like the books are late or I was sick or some other reasons, like I didn't get to talk about the book, And so now I'm finally getting to talk about it. And this book is a lot of fun. As someone that grew up playing Street Fighter a good bit, I sucked at it though, so don't even try to play me. I would just lose. And always like the Turtles. This is like just a good fun time. They're now working together, so they're not really fighting each other anymore. But it ends with Shredder popping up. It's just fun. Like, I would recommend it. The one downside that I didn't really notice at the time, but I'm noticing now, and this is like with a lot of IDW books. So I'll just show you. This much here is the story. This much here is the advertisements.
Yep.
Which is like, it's better, I guess, than Marvel because it's not popping up constantly throughout, but still, it's like, holy crap, half this book, half is advertisements for other stories.
I'm surprised it wasn't third story, third advertisement, third preview of something else.
Yeah.
That's another trend I'm quickly getting over.
Yeah. So yeah, for that, I am gonna go probably an 8. It's enjoyable. It's not like mind-blowingly good, but it's really fun, especially as someone that's like me, where after like the last Ronin really just reawoken my love for the Turtles. And so now I'm reading a lot more turtle related stuff, and this is just a fun book for me to hop into.
Nice. All right. I will start with The Hunger and the Dusk #2. It's written by G. Willow Wilson and art by Chris Wildgoose. Cliff Chang did this particular variant, which I thought was really cool.
Oh, that is cool.
But yeah, I thought the first issue was really strong, and this really continues it. You get fun, fantasy creatures. The orcs and the humans are fighting these weird dusk creatures that are really just pretty creepy looking. Yeah, good character development, character moments. I like the world. Like the world building's really good, and I'm really starting to like the main characters that have been introduced. So it ended on a bit of a cliffhanger. Looking forward to what happens next. I give it a 9 out of 10.
Right on, dude. Okay, so I'm gonna go with Godzilla Rivals versus Spacegodzilla, and this is written and drawn by Matt Frank. I'm really hit and miss with Matt Frank. It's like I'll show you some of his positives, and then I'll show you stuff that I don't like. But it's like I'll show you like there's one splash. Okay, this splash page, super freaking rad, like just awesome. But then like I don't know, anytime like he just draws the blandest humanoid creatures. It's just like, oh wow, that probably had to create, like probably took you a total of 5 seconds to come up with this designs. And like same with all of the structures and stuff. It's like, oh yeah, your buildings are bland, your people are bland. The coolest looking thing is the thing you didn't design. And so it's like, if that tells you, like, as far as his creativity goes, the story sucks. But here's another really cool splash page.
Oh man, just like that's incredible.
Yeah, it's awesome. But the story itself, it's like they're trying to do like, oh yeah, none of them are talking, like you can't understand anything they're saying. So it's all like this this translation of this piece of rock basically, and they're trying to stop the thing, and it's just kind of like a bunch of nonsense. It's not like, it's just not good. It's 100% you're paying for the art. So like the Spacegodzilla stuff looks cool. The monster fight looks cool because there's a little brief monster fight here, and it looks cool. But then there's also shit where it's like, oh, cool. There's this uprising going on. Do I understand what's really going on? No, not really. Is it well thought out? No, not really. But yeah, it's just kind of just very much mediocre. And it's about like, I had low expectations because I used to follow Matt Frank on things, and I'm like, I know about his creativity level, and it met my expectations pretty low. I'm gonna go 5 out of 10.
I think I've just got one apart from Muchi's.
Okay, so then I'll talk about the Doomsday Special really quick. This is by Jake, probably I'm gonna say one of your fastest favorite writers currently, in Dan Waters. Yeah. And artist Eddie Barrows and Eber Ferreira on the art. And so yeah, it's like Supergirl has a nightmare about Doomsday that felt more real, and it turns out this connects to that one Lazarus Planet thing where like the Doomsday's hate or whatever was, it was that story. It connects back to that. Marsh Manhunter's like, yeah, I had this thing and I couldn't understand it because it was in Kryptonian, so I had to pass it on to someone else. I didn't want to pass it on to Superman since he got killed by Doomsday and it's probably a sore subject for him. And Supergirl's like, yeah, I get that. And so then they go to hell basically, and they're trying to figure out what's going on. And all of the demons in hell start believing that Doomsday should be the ruler instead, and like that belief is like powering shit and all this type of thing. And like that power is gonna give Doomsday more, more power and stuff, because having the belief in something is what gives it power. And it's all a bunch of interesting ideas. It's just kind of, for me, the execution that doesn't 100% work for me at the end, but I still really, really like it. I mean, it was still really interesting. I'm interested in seeing where it goes. I love Doomsday, so I'm just kind of a sucker. And then the backup story, it's the kid that was in that story that ended up taking Doomsday to hell, and it's a Bloodwind story. Do you remember Bloodwind?
Of course I do.
Okay, because like when this dude had his connection to Doomsday, I'm just gonna spoil the whole thing. Basically, when the dude has his connection to Doomsday, he also had a connection to He gained this connection to Martian Manhunter. So he's like, Martian Manhunter's gone by many different names, including this one. He transforms into Bloodwind and beats the shit out of this demon.
Dude, Bloodwind had such a rad costume.
He did, dude. When I was a kid, and I was reading The Death of Superman. I was like, who the hell is this guy? Where did he go? Because he's so cool looking.
I know he's in like 14 issues total.
Like, did Martian Manhunter just kind of like get his brain back? And he's like, oh yeah, I'm a Martian. Is that what happened basically? Or
I
no
truly
idea?
don't know. Yeah.
Okay. But the backup story is by Dan Waters and Max Rayner. And so yeah, that this new guy's gonna be just basically the new Bloodwind, and it's pretty sweet. And it's gonna be continued as a backup story in action. So like Bloodwind's just going through the different rings of hell, and he's like tricking these demons into trying like taking him basically to the next ring, and then he beats the demon up, and then he just goes to the next one, does the same thing again. So
I'm gonna have to read that because I want to read those backups.
Yeah, well, I figured you were gonna you picked this book up because it was Dan Waters. Like as soon as I saw that name, like, oh yeah, Jake got this for sure.
Is his name on the cover though?
It says Waters.
Oh, okay. I gotta sit and see it.
Yeah. So yeah, it's solid. Like I said, some of the execution doesn't really work, but the Bloodwind had me so fucking hyped. I'm gonna go 8 out of 10. I almost said 8 out of 5. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. So 8 out of 10.
All right. Conan the Barbarian 2. And it's written by Jim Zub with art by Rob De La Torre. I always like it when books do this. It says writer Grim Jim Zub and Ravaging Rob De La Torre. It's always fun when they do that. But yeah, this is cool. Again, I really like the artwork. It feels very much like a Joe Kubert book or something like that. Spoiler alert, Conan totally bangs this chick that's traveling with him to stop the army. Guess they had to get some tension out or something. So yeah,
there's only one way to stop this army, by bumping uglies.
Yep.
And she's like, well, if you insist.
Yeah, they never really think about it too long when it comes to Conan, right? But yeah, the action's really good. I love watching him just hack apart this undead army. It's so cool.
I love watching him just banging this bra.
Yeah, there's not much to it. That's really all there is. And then at the end, they find some like evil spire where presumably the Army of the Dead's getting made. So yeah, it was cool. I liked it a lot. Also, I got this sick ass retro variant.
Oh, dude, that's dope.
Yeah. So, looks like an old painted Conan cover, like some Frazetta shit, maybe. But yeah, I like it a lot. I'm gonna go 8 out of 10.
Right on. Okay, so Knight's Terror, Knight's End by Joshua Williamson and art by Howard Porter, Giuseppe Camicoli, and or Stephanie Nessie and Trevor Harrison. And I'm just gonna say really quick, this is one of the funniest things to me. It's like Dark Crisis. Me and Jake started reading because Jake, got me into it, and then like I kept reading, and then he just didn't finish it. And then I don't remember. There's another one where it's the same thing, and like now this time, Jake's like, "Here you go. Here's Night Terrors #1," and now it's like doing this myself again.
But I am reading it.
I know. I just wanted to tease you.
But, and the other one was Infinite Frontier, and I stopped. I just didn't think it was very good.
Yeah. But so I have some problems with this. I mean, the major one being Howard Porter's art. I like Howard Porter in Flash, but in this, it's just like this throughout the whole book, and I am not feeling it. And like he is the main artist.
When he was on that Batman stint either, but I did.
Yeah, so just didn't do it for me that way. And then this, like, I don't know, like this is just so sloppy looking. This isn't spoiling anything, but it just does not look good to me.
The Detective Chimp is pretty rough.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, better than anything I could do, but but yeah, it's just it doesn't really do much for me. There's some stuff that I like, but the story itself is just I don't know. It just seems like it's just setting stuff up. I do like the ending, even though I can't really say too much because I don't want to spoil anything for you, but like something major happens to a character, but then at the same time I know, well, guess what? This isn't permanent because this is a main comic. Not going to stick, so it doesn't really matter, even though I thought it was nice. Um, yeah, it's good. Oh, I will say this. I guess we get introduced to a character like the first introduction to this new character who might have been pre-introduced like as a shadowy figure introduced in something else, but now he's got a couple of different things, and his name is Dr. Hate, which is pretty cool. I'll show you his picture.
Oh, it's Fate?
It's Hate.
Right, but he looks like Fate.
Yeah, he looks like it, but it's not. It's completely different. He hates it. He's not, he doesn't have any good fate. He's just hating it.
So it's not like a corrupted Dr. Fate or anything like
I'm
that.
not going to say anything at all what he is. Maybe he's just a robot. I don't know. But there's a theory once you read the different stuff, and as someone that's been reading Green Arrow, even though that's been like kind of had a weird schedule, hasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it has been.
Because but someone online was like, I think it could be Green Arrow, and like I haven't been reading Green Arrow, but I'm like it might be, because if Joshua Williamson's introducing him and he's writing Green Arrow, and like they said that there's multiple green, like there's like a future Green Arrow that's kind of like a weirdo. It's like it could be that one. And I'm like, well, maybe. I don't know. It's like the one connecting is it being Joshua Williamson writing both.
Right. Yeah. I mean, whatever. I trust him. I
Yeah.
trust him.
But this, I don't know. For me, it's probably a 6. It's perfectly adequate, but the art wasn't like the main art for all the action scenes was Howard Porter, and I'm like, oof, but and the story itself, I don't know. It was just so like it was just like, yeah, you guys put a lot of effort into this thing for something that I'm most like not super sold on still.
All right. Well, what order do you want to do these?
You just want to do Blade, Superboy, Hulk?
Yeah. All right. Blade number 2. And it's written by Brian Hill with pencils by Elena Casagrande. Dude, I really do dig this book a lot.
Same. It's a lot of fun. The art's so good too.
Yeah, crazy good.
Oh, that fucking explains it. Jordi Belair does the colors. I was about to say like, oh, I wonder who does these colors. Like, oh, that explains why it's good.
Does Jordi Belair sleep? Is my question.
I don't know, but dude, book is so cool. The world building in this is super cool. They got so much stuff going on. Like that's one thing that kind of like one thing that I kind of don't like. It's kind of like a video game where it's like, okay, we got the main quest, and then he's like, oh, my friend's kidnapped. We gotta take care of the side quest now. It's like, Blade, I think this is only 6 issues. You gotta hurry.
Yeah, no, I get that. I get that. But yeah, like you said, the world building is cool. I think the characters are equally as cool. I don't know. And Casagrande just knows how to do action scenes, in my opinion.
Yep.
Like this is just like a summer blockbuster in each issue, and I love that. I mean, if you've never read Blade before and want to get into him, or you like Blade and haven't read this, you absolutely should be.
I agree. I guess someone that's like, I'm very much a Blade noob. This is a great jumping on point.
Yeah.
I've
It's
always
a
been
9
Blade
for me.
curious, and
Blade curious, yeah.
now I'm less. But I'd say I'm at a 9 on that. I like it a lot.
Yep. Same.
Okay, so Superboy, the Man of Tomorrow, issue 5. And this is by Kenny Porter and Janoy Lindsay on the art. And it's enjoyable. What do you think?
I liked it a lot. Also, I feel like the art just gets better every issue, man.
Yeah,
Like the
no, I
art's fucking
agree.
stellar in this.
The art's good. There's some fun moments, like just cool if like Superboy doing cool, smart stuff. Like when he gets punched in the face, it's like such an anime moment where he doesn't move, but then like his thought process was fun when the way that was written.
Yep.
So I liked I liked a lot of it. I do think the bad guy, it's like okay, there's a level like there's levels to it. Like your reasoning to be such a douchebag, it doesn't really add up to me. Like that's like the one knock to this book's storytelling, in my opinion, where it's like when you have friends that have gone through the same thing and they're just not as much a piece of shit as you, and like like his justification for being such a piece of shit, it just doesn't work when the rest of his squad is like, dude, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah. I'm right there with you. And not just that, but they're also like kind of questioning it sometimes.
Yeah.
So
But I like it. I think it's a really solid book, and every time I read it, it makes me want to go back and read the '90s to early 2000s Superboy comics.
yeah, same. I don't think I've ever read a single issue of that stuff.
So Walden Books used to have some when I was a kid, so I read a few, and that's it though.
Did you get the first appearance of King Shark?
No, there's no way I have
Because
that one. If I
that's the series for some reason that he first appears in.
Yeah, I mean, if I did, it would be ruined, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, it's like an 8 or an 8.5 for me.
Yeah, I'm feeling an 8 for it.
Okay, and lastly, we've got Incredible Hulk #3, and it's written by Philip Kennedy Johnson with art by Nick Klein. And much like the first two, I thought this was awesome. He fights
Yeah,
this big old, brother deep monster. Uh, I like his interactions with the girl Charlie. It's just cool, man. I just think it's a cool book.
yeah. No, I agree. My main knock is as someone that read Immortal Hulk. No, like the big thing that annoys me, and this is something I kind of mentioned earlier, where like stuff just goes back to the status quo. Hulk is one of the worst ones about that. Like I did not like Immortal Hulk, but they did a lot of stuff where they changed stuff and like Banner and Hulk, good terms. Donny Cates is like, no. And then Philip Kenny Johnson's like, we're gonna stay no. So it's just like, okay, I guess I didn't need to read those 50 issues.
Yeah. I think it's I think it's really hard. It would be really hard to write Hulk within the last couple of years and even now because each run is so vastly different from the one that came before it.
And they
Because
just like they mildly ignore each other.
right, it's each of them want to take Hulk in a fresh new direction. Um, but none of it coincides with each other. So I don't know. I just if they came to me right now, we're like, Jake, you want to write the next Hulk series? It'd be like, well, shit. Like, how do you tie in everything?
Yeah.
It'd just be too crazy right now.
Yeah, and because I mean, and I love Philip Kenny Johnson, but this doesn't like it's just like Hulk going like, I'm gonna get rid of Banner. It's like, oh, okay, we've never seen this before. It's like, except for every other time it happens. Like don't get me wrong, I do enjoy the monster aspects and I enjoy the zombie stuff. I think that's super cool. And this Hulk, with it being like all wrapped up in Banner's brain, it's like, oh yeah, this is all some neat shit, but it's also, I think it could have been cooler if it was more like Banner and Hulk working together and like trying doing like a new type of like Banner Hulk hybrid type thing, doing that again, but doing it a little bit differently where he's still on the run or something like that, where it's like this type of thing would be better than just in the same old, like, I don't like Banner. Banner's like, oh, I don't know what to do about this Hulk, that type of stuff. So
Well, again, I'll give my defense like I have all the other times this has come up. I haven't read all these years of Hulk.
yeah.
This is new for me. So
Yep. And I mean, because that is one thing. I gave a lot of shit to the Immortal Hulk, and I'm gonna say rightfully so. But he did a lot for the Hulk stuff, and like to see it kind of get ignored, I'm like, it's kind of like ignoring Peter David, like with his Hulk run. It's kind of the same thing. Like Peter David did a lot of like lore building, and then if you just go, no, none of that, it's kind of like, oh, bothers me.
okay. Well, for me, it's a 9, and it was my pick of the week.
For me, it's a 7. I like it, but yeah, it's just there's just a lot that kind of just bothers me. Will I pick up every issue? Yeah.
I mean,
Will
it's
I
better
probably
than Immortal, right?
yeah, yeah. I'm so like I'm enjoying it more, but it does like okay, I'm gonna relate it to being abused in a relationship. It's like yeah, you get out of this shitty relationship, and then like this new one, it's doing things that are like good, but you're like, I don't know if I like this. It's like, oh, they're bringing me flowers and chocolate in bed. Are they trying to make me fat? I'm allergic to those flowers.
All right. Well, what are you
But
excited for next
my
week?
pick of the week, though, is plot holes, by the way.
Oh, plot holes. Yeah. I need to give that a shot.
But I'm excited about, I'm going to say the Ghost Rider tie-in, like Wolverine thing, because that's a lot of fun. Fantastic Four and Godzilla. I didn't put that on the list, so I'm going to do that really quick. But it's not like you were like, oh no, Casey's dropping Godzilla pirate book. I don't think that's the thing you'd have to worry about.
I'm gonna go with Birds of Prey #1. Probably Moon Knight, and then the second issue of Sacrificers. But there's like a good handful of stuff I'm pretty excited for.
Good, dude. Okay, so I had a thing written down for the Fantastic Four, but I forgot the reasoning behind it. So I'm gonna say a couple of something stupid.
Okay.
This last week, the Farm Progress show happened, which I don't know if you know what that is, but it's basically a comic book convention, but for farmers. So, had we been able to talk about this the last week, what would have been like 4 different cosplay ideas for Casey to have cosplayed at the Farm Progress show?
Are you wanting like characters or farmer types?
Just make up something. Just like make up characters, make up, you could do whatever. Get it as weird as you want.
Okay, well, the first one would be I forget the name of it, but it's that classic like man and woman with the pitchfork photo.
Oh yeah,
The man.
I got you.
Or the woman. Who cares?
Yeah.
Either one.
Maybe I'll be both.
Maybe you'll be both.
My face I'll paint as the barn, and then I'd have like their heads on each shoulder. Perfect.
I think it would also be hilarious if you would just did like a full-blown Amish cosplay. I think
nice.
I think you could rock some Amish clothes. And you could probably get some because Arthur's not that far away. And
no, not at all.
It's got a lot of Amish people. And then on the flip side, just like the total fucking redneck farmers that are around our hometown, but like the trashy kind.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is there like a style or something that's like frat boy farmer? Is that like a thing?
Probably, but I wouldn't know about it.
Okay, well then I'll say
my dad's anime farmer. So
he is anime farmer. I think it'd be funny if you were to do a full day in your combine dressed as Marvel's Scorpion dressed as a farmer.
I love that.
Yeah.
But actually, Jake, I'm never actually in the combine. That's Dad's job. I'm driving the auger cart.
Okay.
But an idea I had would be I would be like, so I don't know if you know this, but the people that buy like that get prostitutes are called Johns. So I would look like someone that's trying to buy a prostitute, but then I'd have antlers. And then I was
That's
also
funny.
thinking like, how cool would it be if just to be like a transformer, but that would transform into a tractor. It's like
I want to know what that character's name would be. Because, you know, they've got Star Scream and cool shit like that. What would the tractor one be?
picker.
Picker.
And then Pocket. That was another idea. That one's just a little bit easy. And then like, how funny would it be if I was just like something so outrageous where I'm like, yeah, I'm cosplaying as Hammerhead, you know, the Spider-Man villain.
I feel like you'd get a few looks at the farm
I
progress
just go
show
like
for
I just
that
like
one.
run head first into different implements, and I'm like, adamantium, baby.
You're like, what's that?
They're like, you're bleeding, dude.
All right. I think that is the end of the episode. So, closing plugs time. Head on over to facebook.com/Two Worlds Podcast and give the page a like. You can also find us on Twitter at @2_worlds_PC and on Instagram at Two Worlds Pod. You can email us at twoworldspodcast@gmail.com. And if you would, please go to our YouTube channel. It's Two Worlds Podcast on YouTube and subscribe to the channel. And maybe like the video that we post. That would be cool.
Yeah. And, you know, just let us know your different thoughts on the different stuff that we've said so far. Do you think the -1 Godzilla trailer looks cool? Do you think Jake's mustache is still going strong? Because I do. Are
Do
you
you
gonna go
like it or do
see?
you hate it?
I love it, man. I think you honestly look like a golfer. Um,
Love that.
um, do you want to know what Jake's hat is? Because I'm kind of curious. I'm assuming I have like two guesses, and you can tell me if I'm right or wrong. It's for one of the pro gamers that you like.
No.
It's a race car.
Yes.
Okay, I knew it was
You don't know
one or
this
the
part?
other.
It's
Not really.
it's the logo for Alfa Romeo.
Oh, okay. See, I couldn't point out an Alfa Romeo if my life depended on it, if I'm being
Yes, you
honest.
could. They're the only cars on the road that have the triangle grills.
Still, dude, I wouldn't have been able to like, oh, that's Alfa Romeo. I wouldn't have known. Like,
Okay.
I don't watch Top Gear like that, bud.
Fair enough.
But yeah. And oh, are you guys gonna go see I Like Snaps in concert this weekend? Because they're playing at Pops. I hope to go.
Nice.
Maybe you'll see me there. But we'd love to stay in chat, but we've got to make a holiday so people don't work or our wives will give birth. I'm not sure what Labor Day is about. Bye, guys.
Bye.